Hey, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Katie.
You're listening to Not-Stalgia, the podcast that when you listen to it, gives you the same feeling you used to have as when you swung a little too high up on the swings and then came back to earth. Were you
Don't say it.
Were you a child who liked to play on the swing set?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually had my own swing set in my backyard, and it was the greatest thing ever.
Cool. I need some more description here. I want to picture this. Were the seats wood?
No, they
plastic?
were plastic.
Okay. What about the chains? Were they coated or were they just straight up metal?
I think they were just straight up metal chains.
That's the best. That's like, I have very good memories of like big chain link, you know, like really hefty chain link that you'd hold and hopefully not pinch your hands.
Yeah, we had a slide and everything.
Wow.
Sometimes we would put our cat Simon down it.
Oh.
He was a pretty good sport. He lived for 900 years.
Didn't you not know how old he was?
He was an
stray,
ageless
right?
being,
Right.
yeah. He was like a neighborhood cat. And then literally all of our childhood seemed to be there in the background, sometimes going down the slide, sometimes just like hanging out when we put a bunch of rainwater in a bucket and like made a potion. And he was a black cat, so it was like pretty applicable.
Oh, I see. He's
and then
witchy.
Yeah, and then somehow he became our cat. And then after that, he lived until I think I was in college when he died.
I knew Simon.
Or maybe it was grad school. Who knows? But he was already an adult cat when I was a kid.
He may have even been geriatric already when you were a kid.
Unclear.
For all you know.
He lived to be 1,000 years old.
He's a nice grumpy old cat. I liked him a lot.
He was.
Well, Kate, speaking of swing sets, did you ever want to go over the bar, swing all the way around?
Not really, because I was a pretty cautious kid, but I would jump off the swing.
Oh, you were a jumper? You ever hurt yourself doing that?
Oh, tons of times.
Not like broken limbs.
No. Just
scrapes
scraped
and
up.
bruises.
Because the our play area, like our swing set area, had wood chips as the base, but they must have been the biggest wood chips ever. It was just bark chips. It was just huge pieces of bark, and you'd land on them, and it would just like tear your skin off your bones.
Well, Kate, I like the swings too. I had a swing set at home. My chains were coated. We had the wimp stuff.
Yeah.
And at school, I loved to. I would like run to the swings as an elementary school student.
Cute.
I wanted it. I wanted to be on them swings. But what we're going to watch today, Kate, is related, sort of, to the swing set and going over the bar, swinging all the way around, which I never did. I don't think it was possible. I mean, I would swing full recess period, an hour straight at home, and I would get as high as possible. I just don't see how you could go over the bar.
I think you'd have to be going really fast. Like,
right.
You'd need
how could you get that much?
Like a rocket swing. Like a jackass style.
Right.
Rocket swing. Which I think as adults we could make.
That's pretty cool. All right. Put a pin in that. We're gonna start playing. When we're done this episode, we're gonna start drawing up plans for our adult-sized rocket swing in our backyard. It feels more like a playground legend that like a kid claims they've gone over the bar. Well, Kate, we're going to watch, it's not a show necessarily, there's a couple very, very short episodes of this. Have you ever seen Inside Out Boy?
No.
Well, Kate, Inside Out Boy was a series of very short claymation episodes, for lack of a better word.
I like how you keep saying short, like it's going to make me enjoy this more. You're like, Kate, it's so short.
Inside Out Boy was a series of claymation shorts that aired between commercial breaks on Nickelodeon. This idea of an interstitial. In the early days of cable, Kate, the cable channels didn't put commercials on. Right? Because you were paying to view the cable channels.
Surely.
So they could, first of all, they didn't do this on Nickelodeon, but they could curse. You know, like in the early days of cable in the 80s, really the late 70s, but the early to mid 80s, the FCC wasn't really involved because people were paying for the privilege to have cable. That is still true about channels like HBO, you know, the cursing. But nowadays, of course, they double dip. And we grew up in the era where if you had cable, which you did not as a child, but if you did, you paid for the privilege. Sure. And you had to watch commercials. It's kind of crummy when you think about it.
It is.
But so like a channel like Nickelodeon, what they would do, because they would still provide commercial break time just for pacing, so shows would still start on a half hour. In the earliest days, they would create their own content to put on in between the commercial breaks. Like MTV really made this famous with their station identification. They would hire these cool experimental animators and have the MTV logo do weird stuff, and they'd have famous musicians tell you, I'm David Bowie, you're watching MTV. So Nickelodeon used the same people. They hired a lot of the same people who made all those station identifications for MTV, so they were doing the same thing. It's where you get the Nick orange splat logo, all of the little station identification bits where those guys sing, Nick, 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 Nickelodeon, that stuff.
Yeah, that's not annoying at all.
I love it. One of the things they would do, even after they added commercials, they would still sprinkle this stuff in, which really kept you watching is really what it's doing, but also gives the channel a very unique identity, which is part of the reason why I'm obsessed with Nickelodeon still to this day, because this branding was so on point and unique. So they had this series that would air, these 1-minute shorts called Inside Out Boy. They're claymation. They were created by Scott Webb and Will McRobb. They both worked for Nickelodeon's interstitial department. They just made content between the commercials. Will McRobb, while doing that, also co-created Pete and Pete. We saw that show a long time ago on this podcast.
Yeah, that kid getting a tattoo?
Yes.
I don't like that show.
Those started as interstitials, really short ones. They created the concept, Webb and McRobb. They hired a company called Sculptoons, which is run by Tom Gassick and Elizabeth Butler. So the shorts, there's 5 of them, were co-directed by Tom Gassick and Scott Webb, and they were animated and designed by Elizabeth Butler. The 5 shorts, first one aired in 1989, is called Library. Second one, Science Fair, 1990. Third one, MC Mallet, 1991. Prison, 1992. And Girls, 1993. I remember these. Even though the original air dates were 1989 through 1993, makes me 2 years old when the final one originally airs, they reran them forever. These were being run pretty much all the way up to about the year 2000 in between commercials. They also put them on some Rugrats VHS tapes that I had, so I would see them there. This is just like really great vintage early 90s Nickelodeon right here. Kind of gross, as you'll see, based on the name Inside Out Boy.
Ew.
Just
Shouldn't it be Inside Out?
Yeah, weird claymation, just fantastic. And just really interesting to me, again, that when I did this research, I expected to find like 50 of these, but there are literally 5. And they just kept showing them over and over and over again. Ready to watch?
Yeah, let's do it.
He was just an ordinary kid until that fateful day when he accidentally swung over the bar and learned he had incredible powers beyond those of any superhero.
Where are my parents?
He had become Inside Out Boy. He couldn't fly or even leap tall buildings, but what he could do, gross out adults, made him a hero to kids the world over.
Excuse me.
Inside Out Boy, what you want in a hero.
Guts.
From the network that's got what you want, Nickelodeon.
Ugh. Alright, so this little punk swung over the bar, turned inside out, and all he does is gross out adults.
Yeah, they're disgusted by him.
So it wasn't enough to watch, like, crazy cartoons. You also had this. That was it?
He's got guts. They're 1 minute, Kate. It's great.
This is nice and fast. I'm almost done.
And in the 1 minute, they always include how it happened again.
I do respect the craftsmanship that went into it.
It's pretty cool because it's got this like flat look. Oh, look, you can see his nervous system. Oh, he's rapping. It was the 90s. He's got guts, Kate.
They just keep saying guts.
Hey, he's got what it takes. Guts. All right, it's a bit overkill that the SWAT team has arrived and are all aiming guns at Inside Out Boy.
This is I feel like a good lesson in just how much exposition you need.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need much more than that.
Yeah,
Here's the story of a kid who swung over the bar and became Inside Out Boy. That's it. Ugh. That makes me think of, like, kids who would do, like, weird eye tricks. They would, like, turn their eyelid inside out. And you're like, why are you touching your eyelid? You're not supposed to be touching your eyes. No wonder you have pink eye every day.
We join our hero as he faces his greatest challenge, girls.
Hi. Hey, you're that Inside Out Boy.
Call me IOB.
So, like, what are your superpowers, IOB?
Well,
Do you have super breath?
no, but I do have minty fresh breath. Smell.
Do you have X-ray eyes?
Nope, but I can turn my eyelids outside in. Look,
Gross. I thought you were different.
I am. Wait.
We're going to be late. You are late. Hall passes, please.
Sorry, no pockets.
My hero.
Inside Out Boy. He's got what it takes to impress a girl.
Guts.
For more adventures, keep watching Nickelodeon.
All right, Kate. Inside Out Boy. What do you think of that?
It was short, it was quick, and those are 2 redeeming qualities. I mean, okay, here's what I liked about it. I liked that you didn't need a lot of exposition to understand. I liked claymation. I think claymation is really interesting and cool. There's a lot of, like, thought and planning that goes into making a claymation thing, any kind of stop motion thing, and I respect that. And that's really it. I would have liked to see, I don't know, like more, what makes me laugh often in like kids media is like playground lore, you know?
Well, swing over the bar and you turn inside
I
out.
would have liked to see more of that.
Yeah, some of these, it's like the term you use a lot is kids being kids, too. And some of these, and they like kind of touch on that. I mean, they're so short, they barely have time. Because, like, you know, they're in the hallway, him and the girl, and they don't have a hall pass, but he gets out of trouble by being like, sorry, I don't have any pockets because I'm inside out. And then the teacher, like, screams and flies away, so he gets away with it, you know? It's just, like, pretty clever. It's just kind of goofy that they also have him get arrested. I don't know. Can you see why your parents didn't want to get cable and let you watch Nickelodeon as a child?
Absolutely.
There's literally a little boy whose organs are on the outside of his body running around.
It is a little bit grotesque when you think about it.
Love it. That's what's so good about it. It's like kind of gross. All the adults in it are terrified, but none of the kids are. Very, very clever. What I'm just most fascinated by is the fact that they strung us along as kids for years with just 5 of those 1-minute shorts. It's crazy. Also, side note, as far as I can tell, this is the first Nicktoon because they didn't make their 3 first animated shows until 1991, and this started in 1989, so I guess technically. Also, do you remember on Pee-wee's Playhouse, Penny, the little girl with pennies for eyes?
Yeah.
The 2 people who ran that studio that made this Sculptoons, Tom Gassick and Elizabeth Butler, they previously had worked on, both of them worked on those Penny cartoons, so it has like pretty much the same style.
Yeah, you're right.
So anyway, Inside Out Boy, guys, they're all out there. There's literally 5 minutes worth on YouTube. If you want to go relive your childhood, I recommend it. This is one thing, it's so short, like you have nothing to lose by sitting through it, and it's pretty much exactly what you remember. Thanks for listening to the only podcast that's got guts inside of it. Tune in next week, tell us what to watch, and don't worry, Kate. Answering the question you didn't ask, yes, there are more little mini-series in Nick Interstitials like that.
Will they be fast?
Only one network's got the backbone to bring you a superhero with
Guts.
Nickelodeon, the only network for you.